The melody, the rhythm, the harmony. These are the building blocks of music. These are the basic elements of music. They bring about aesthetics. In African music, do they work separate or are they working together? In this segment, we are going to explore how these different elements combine and work together to create the aesthetics in African music. We are going to discuss and understand how melody works together with harmony, how rhythm works together with melody to create the final products that we like and enjoy as music. In Africa, melody is always rhythmized. This means that the melody is embedded inside the rhythm. You don't just choose a note because of its pitch, of its sound, because of its pitch. You choose it because it is able to align with the rhythm. It is able to reinforce or contrast the rhythm. In other words, rhythm is part of the melody itself. Just from how we speak, from how we sing, everything just comes natural. All of them are the same. But how are we able to achieve this? Let's discover that. The first way that we're able to discover we were able to achieve this is through hocketing. In African music, hocketing happens, example, in instrumental music. Let's take example of the akadinda or the amadinda of the baganda. This xylophone. It's a big, large xylophone which has more than one player, 3-4 players. Hocketing works in this way. Everybody is playing their rhythm, everybody is playing their note. Somebody plays a set of only 2 notes or 3 notes, followed by another one who plays a set of another 2 notes. If you join this one together, you get a melody. You find a melody sounds like tang ting ta ti tang ti tang ta ting ta ti tang ti tang ti ta ta ting. But in real sense, this is not one single melody. It has been played by 2 different players. One player is just playing tang ting, tang ta ting, tang ting, tang ta ting, and another player is just playing ta tang, ta tang. So the first player tang ting, ta tang ti. It joins to form one whole melody. That is how hocketing works. In African music, it is not again just making that melody. They are not just there to make that particular melody. What they are there to do is they are there to feel, to make music together. This generates or encourage communal cooperation. It creates rhythmic drive in the music. Everybody is having that energy, that push. It's not just one boring line played by one person, but a combination of different lines. You know, that produces a melodic movement through collective effort. It's not only one person playing it, but different people. So hocketing demonstrates how melody emerges from rhythmic independence, not individual expression. The second one is through timeline, pattern, and melody. Timeline, pattern, and melody works in this way. Have you ever wondered how Aluya music, let's give it an example of Aluya music from the Abaluya community in Kenya. It will sound without the metal ring. Ding, ding, ding. Imagine how the music would sound. That metal ring gives the music a timeline in which the melody always plays around. It provides that it's just a single rhythmic line that we use to phrase. We use to mark our phrases. We used to know now our music has moved from this way. This is the direction that our music is moving. It acts as a phrasing object in the music. The great Kwabena urges us that melody in Africa is not placed on top of rhythm, but it is built into the rhythm. When that person playing the bell plays, the melody fits in nicely with the rest. It gives them the relationship between what they're supposed to sing, what they're supposed to play against what other instruments are playing. It helps to mark the phrase. It helps to make the music flow and joins the music from one phrase to another, from one resting point to another. This means that the melody grows out of rhythmic pattern. The timeline guides the phrasing, and the melodic ideas must align with the rhythmic architecture. When a melody contradicts the timeline, the music feels unstable. But when the melody aligns with the rhythm, the music achieves organic balance and structure. Without the timeline patterns, the music would sound bare. And it's just one rhythm, maybe just two different rhythmic ideas just being played. Ting, 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 ting. But the way it comes out, the way it balances with the music, it creates a whole new idea and creates the music flows so nicely. The second one is how melody works with harmony. Melody and harmony works hand in hand when it comes to African music. This is because our music is tonal music. When I create the melody and I need to create an harmony, the harmony has to respect or respond to the cultural demands. The culture demands that the intonation is a rising intonation for the words to keep their meaning. This means that in harmony we are not going to change that. We are still going to create harmony. So it's harmony that is melody that is still creating that harmony. We are not changing, we are not thinking with the diatonic chords. We are not thinking in terms of, there I'm using a dominant fifth, in this I'm using this. We are thinking in parallels. African music, we find ourselves singing in parallel thirds, parallel fourths and fifths, sometimes octaves. When the melody moves up, the harmony have to move up, and that's how melody and harmony works together. This means that our harmony is always linear and not vertical. It is emergent rather than calculated. You are not sitting down to start thinking of these are the chords that I'm going to use. It just comes naturally. It is emergent. It is natural rather than planned. The third one that we're going to use is the parallelism and counter melodies. Parallelism is just what I've explained there. When we sing, when we have to achieve harmony, we layer another voice on top of another voice. We are not thinking about the chords. We are just layering voices on top of another one, a third above the other one, and they flow and move corresponding to the language. This is because, again, our language is that tonal and they have to move together. Thus, harmony has to follow the speech direction, not the chord theory. Another one is the instrumental interlocking and harmonic emergence. Imagine somebody playing the mbira or somebody playing kiringongo. What brings about the harmony in the music, because yes, the harmony is there, is the emergence of the rhythms. When the rhythms, when a rhythm interlocks with another rhythm at their different pitch, they in turn comes and brings about a harmony. It is not calculated harmony, but it is an harmony that comes out of interlocking rhythms. And this brings the where now the harmony and rhythm works together. So we say melody is rhythmic, rhythm is melodic, rhythm and harmony is rhythm and melody is harmonic. You see, the harmony is brought about by co-joining the two together, rhythm and harmony. But now we have to have rhythm and melody. These elements come together in an orderly manner. Somebody has to play something. Somebody has to think about what am I going to play to match the other person. But we are not thinking of which chord am I playing next. Everybody is having their independent line. Again, we have to look at the factor behind all of this. And the greatest factor behind all of this is the linguistic foundation. At the heart of this is our languages. African language controls the melody. The melody dictates the harmony, and the melody was also dictated by the rhythm. And that's how these three elements, rhythm, harmony, and melody, works together. These three elements, they work together as a single living organism. Each element breathes into the other one life and brings a deeply embedded aesthetics in the music. In our next lesson, we are going to integrate these three elements and see how they come about to shape our ensemble. Now we go into the performance, not just theory. We go develop these to performance logic. I am Ouma Benja, and this is Tekolamo Music.